Ladies and gentlemen, Modern Warfare has a very large problem. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is an opinionated video. This is my opinion on what is going on within Modern Warfare. But I just wanted to throw it out there and give some actual ways to fix this problem, because I don't just want this to be a complaining video where I just say I hate Modern Warfare. I want to talk about why I am talking about this and what can actually be changed to fix this problem. And if you haven't figured it out by one, the thumbnail, or two, what I'm saying, this problem is, of course, camping. Modern Warfare has a camping problem, a big one, and I have never seen a Call of Duty game have a camping problem to this extent ever. Any Call of Duty game. You can go all the way back to Modern Warfare 2, which had unlimited claymores and rooms that people could camp in. People still did not camp as much as people are camping in this game. And a lot of people are blaming the players for this. And yes, of course, the players who are playing the game are the ones that are deciding to camp. But the real reason that they are camping is because the game is designed in such a way where it extremely promotes camping for many reasons. And that is what we are going to be discussing today. And that is what I'm going to be giving, in my opinion, some pretty good solutions to. So first of all, the proof of this. So it comes down to the respawn game modes, and I'm generally talking 6v6, but 10v10 is also culprit to this as well. If you played any team deathmatch, domination, or kill confirmed is a great example, the games almost never go to the score limit. They almost always end based off of time. So for example, if you're playing kill confirmed, it almost never goes to the maximum amount of tags because players aren't trying to capture those tags. They are just sitting in corners and trying to get kills. On top of that, in domination, I very rarely see games where the top player on each team has more than 30 kills. Generally speaking, when I was playing Black Ops 4 or previous Call of Duty games, I was getting between 40 and 70 kills in domination games. So a very big difference there as well. On top of that, in Team Deathmatch, generally speaking in previous Call of Duty games, Team Deathmatch games, even with 100 score, would end between 4 to 6 minutes. In Modern Warfare, Team Deathmatch games end in 75 kills, and most of the time, the Team Deathmatch games are ending because of time, not because you reach the score limit. So if that doesn't scream camping and players not moving around, I don't know what does. Now, Modern Warfare from the ground up is really designed for that slow play style, sitting in rooms waiting for players to come to you. The problem with that is if everyone does that, nobody gets kills. If I just sit in my spawn and wait for enemies to come to me, and the enemy team does the exact same thing, nobody gets kills. And from the ground up, the game is designed for that. The fast time to kill is a great example of it, but that doesn't mean you can't have a Call of Duty game with a fast time to kill that camping isn't promoted. On top of that, little things like mounting, when you mount to walls, mount to windowsills, it promotes persons sitting in a window, sitting on a head glitch, and waiting for someone to come to them. But those two things I don't think are the most predominant reasons for camping. They're just things that make it easier, if you will. The big things are everything that I'm going to talk about after this, and all of these things I'm going to give solutions for because, again, I don't just want to complain, I want to provide actual fixes and ways for the game to get better. So the first thing, footstep audio. Now, they have come out and said that they are working on this, they are trying to make it better, and that is great, but the problem with footstep audio is footsteps are damn loud in this game, and really you're in a building and you just hear footsteps from a mile away. It sounds like an elephant running through a desert. It is just absolutely insane how loud footsteps are. Now, I like being able to hear footsteps. I think it's an integral part of a Call of Duty game. But when footsteps are as loud as they are and as easy to hear as they are, no one is going to move, because as soon as you move, the enemy is going to know exactly where you are. Now, the counter to this is dead silence. And in this game, dead silence is a field upgrade. And with dead silence, you can, for a limited period of time, have silent footsteps. And on top of that, you move a little bit faster. And I think that is great. The problem is you gotta wait for 2 minutes before dead silence actually kicks in. Again, promoting camping for those 2 minutes before you actually get that dead silence. So obviously, the fix to this is, first of all, them working on the footstep noise and actually making footsteps a little quieter. That is fantastic. Like I said, I still think you should be able to hear footsteps, just not as prevalent as they are. The other fix that I would love to see, and I actually did a poll on Twitter, and you guys most seem to agree, is that dead silence, I really do think, should be a perk. It is something that you should have, or have the option to have on at all times. This would make it so that a player who likes running around and trying to sneak behind people could more easily do so because of that dead silence perk. They always have it. And are they going to do this? I don't know. If they do, I would probably recommend putting this in perk 1 slot or even in perk 2 slot, and then people would have to decide what's more important, using Ghost or using dead silence. Now, I'm not going to lie, when I play Modern Warfare, it kind of feels a little bit like this. That is right, a bunch of ghosts running around with extremely loud footsteps. So Ghost in this game is the second thing that I'm going to talk about, because if you've played any 6v6 lately and call in a UAV, nobody shows up on the UAV because everyone is using Ghost, and Ghost constantly works. And what I mean by that is, for the past like 6 Call of Duty games, I honestly think it might even have been since Black Ops 1, the way that Ghost would work is that it would make you invisible to the UAVs if and only if you were moving around. The second you started standing still, camping around, you would show up on that minimap. This was something that was put into place to prevent camping and make Ghost less of a crutch perk. And don't get me wrong, in Modern Warfare right now, Ghost is a crutch perk in the second perk slot. Almost everyone is using it, and it is because it always works and constantly makes you invisible on that UAV. Now, I know not everyone agrees with me on this one, but what I would do is revert Ghost back to its previous form, where it only worked if you were moving. This not only promotes moving around while using Ghost, it makes it so the UAV isn't completely useless, and when you call it in, no one is showing up on that minimap. By the way, if you go back and look at videos from Black Ops 1, this was one of the major things people were complaining about in Black Ops 1, was the fact that everyone was running Ghost and no one was showing up on that minimap, and it made using UAVs useless. That is why it changed after Black Ops 1. Going a step further with the minimaps, there's a rumor going around right now that they are actually going to be changing it so that when people shoot their weapons that aren't silenced, they will be showing up on the minimap. I do believe that this will promote moving around quite a bit. Reason being, if you can see people on the map, you're going to go towards them. It's going to promote people to move and promote those red dot chasers to move out of their corners, to come out of their tents and actually move around a little bit. The next one is probably the biggest one and also the hardest to fix. That is the maps. The maps in this game, for the most part, are just simply bad. Like, they just do not work for respawn game modes. Now, the two that I think are decent are Gunrunner and Hackney Yard, two of which were actually in the beta, and I think that they've worked on the spawns enough on those where they have become better. So that's a good sign. Maybe as they read more of the spawns and more of the info of people playing the game, the other maps get better as well. However, certain maps like Piccadilly and other maps in 6v6 just simply do not work. Number one, they are too big. Number two, the spawn traps are way too much. Number three, there is so many little routes to get around in power positions that once again, these maps just promote camping. So, number one, for the existing maps, you have to fix the spawns, especially on Piccadilly. There's no way you should be spawn trapped so far back that you have to run for 30 seconds before you get to the enemies camping out your spawn and just die anyway. The spawns on most of these maps need to be fixed. Now, the other problem I have with the maps is that they are too big. I don't think that they're going to whittle them down, make them smaller. I just don't see that happening. So the second part of this is the new maps. So there is rumors and leaks right now of 38 other maps coming to this game. That is a lot of maps. And some of these maps are going to be good. Some of them are going to be remakes. And I'm assuming if they follow the suit of the maps that are in the game right now, some of them are going to be bad or only work in some game modes. If they are adding that many maps, what I would suggest is making it so certain maps are only available in certain modes. So for example, Piccadilly, a map that doesn't really work in respawn game modes, make it so it is only available in Search and Destroy and Cyber Attack. And as you add these 38 maps, only put them into the playlist where those maps work best. Now, as of right now, they can't do that because they don't have enough maps, but as they add 38 more maps, that is something that's definitely doable. It's something that you see within games like CSGO, and I believe they do it in Rainbow Six as well. Cycle in those maps in different game modes, and that way all of the maps play to their strengths and play in the best way possible. That is really the only way I can think of fixing the maps, because what happened is at the launch of this game, they announced that they were getting away from the traditional 3-lane maps, and I don't really understand why. The 3-lane maps work in Call of Duty. There's really no reason to go away from them. I get if you want to have 1 or 2 maps that are different and go away from that system, but to get rid of it altogether, I think is a little bit much. So other than that, I don't really have an answer for maps. If you have any ideas or what you think about the maps, let me know what you think down in the comments. Even if you enjoy the maps, I would love to hear why. Now, the final thing is a pretty obvious one. It's that this year they have switched from score streaks to kill streaks, and I don't think that this is inherently a bad thing. I actually kind of enjoy the switch to kill streaks, but that means that nobody is playing the objective. So remember at the very beginning of the video when I said that in Kill Confirmed, nobody is capturing the tags, so the game is just ending to time and not to score. Now, there is a way to make it so that you have score streaks within this game, but that being said, I don't think many people are using it because it's a perk and you can't just switch to score streaks. You have to sacrifice the second perk, which means you can't use Ghost, and as we talked about, everyone is using Ghost. So a way to fix this is make it so that you can just click a button and you switch from kill streaks to score streaks. Instead of wasting a perk on it, you can just switch. The other thing that I would have really liked to see is instead of having kill streaks or instead of having score streaks, you have point streaks. This is what they had in Modern Warfare 3, and in my opinion, it is the best version of both kill and score streaks. So when you capture a flag, it's as if you got a kill, and it counts towards your kill streaks. Score doesn't directly count towards it, but points do, if you will. So both playing the objective and getting kills count towards your next streak, and in my opinion, like I said, that is the best version of it. I don't know if they can switch to that or implement that, but that is personally what I would love to see. It would promote playing the objective more and therefore promote not camping as much. So why make this video now? I think the reason why I decided to put this thing together now is because I think we're at the point where most people can see that this is a problem. It is a thing that in almost every single game, it is hard to reach score limit or the game ends to time because nobody is moving. And I think a lot of people are getting frustrated with it. And the real answer to this is for Infinity Ward to put out patches addressing all of these issues, to make it so that the game plays a little bit faster, a little more exciting, so people stay with the game longer. And it kind of worries me that they haven't really patched any of this yet. Yes, I know that they said they're going to patch it, but it's one thing to say it and it's one thing to do it. Look at Black Ops 4. There's still no leaderboards within Black Ops 4. So I really want to see some action done on this, and I think a good start is to talk about it. Now, like I said earlier, if you disagree with anything we talked about, feel free to let me know in the comments. This is a conversation, and I want to hear what you guys have to say about these things. This video is my opinion. These are the things that I think will fix the camping issue. The other thing is in my opinion, the bones of Modern Warfare, the things that it is made out of, the weapons, the leveling up, the way you level up your weapons is incredible. I think it's probably the best we've ever seen in a game. The bones of the game are great. It just needs a fancy shirt, maybe a nice hat, put itself together, and the game can literally be one of the best Call of Duty games ever, and I want to see it succeed. So I want to try to fix it the best way possible, and this is my way of trying to help it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you found it informative. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you could hit that like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, want to stay up to date on everything Modern Warfare, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you have notifications on. And of course, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
Maybe you should take it slow.